My son kicked me out of the car without any money and said, "I can't take you anymore." Then he slammed the door, sped off, and left me standing on the side of an empty road. A 70-year-old mother with nothing but my worn-out sweater and a trembling heart. The cold evening wind stung my cheeks. Cars rushed past, their headlights brushing over me like quick, uncaring glances. I wanted to believe it was a joke. Terrible, cruel joke. But it wasn't. My son, my only child, really left me there. I wrapped my arms around myself, swallowing the loneliness rising in my throat, when suddenly, a black pickup slowed down beside me. The window rolled down. A deep, steady voice called out, "Ma'am, are you all right? Do you need help?" I hesitated. I didn't trust strangers. But there was something gentle in the man's eyes. Something that reminded me of a kindness I hadn't felt in years. His name was Daniel. A widower. A mechanic. A man who had lost a lot, but somehow still carried light in his gaze. And I had no idea that the moment he stepped out of that truck, my life and my son's was about to change forever. Because Daniel didn't just offer me a ride. He offered me something I never thought I would feel again. A place to belong. The day everything changed. My name is Margaret, but most people call me Maggie. I'm 70 years old, though some days I feel even older than that. Life has a way of aging you faster, especially when the people you love the most are the ones who hurt you the deepest. But the day I will never forget, the day my heart cracked like thin glass, was the day my own son, my flesh and blood, looked me dead in the eyes and said, "I can't take you anymore." And then he kicked me out of the car. No money, no phone, no bag, just my old sweater and a lifetime of memories suddenly feeling like nothing. It was late afternoon. The sun was slipping behind the trees. Cars sped past like I wasn't even there. Before we begin, if you enjoy stories that touch the heart and remind us of life's quiet miracles, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. It truly helps our little storytelling family grow. I can still feel that wind on my cheeks, that cold, sharp wind that felt like the world itself had turned its back on me. And maybe it had. Or maybe I just hadn't found my place yet. Because sometimes God closes every single door around you, just so you'll notice the one door that quietly opens on the side. For me, that door opened in the shape of a black pickup truck, and a man named Daniel, left on the side of the road. I stood there frozen, staring down the road where my son's car disappeared. Tyler, my boy, the one I raised alone after his father passed, the one I worked 2 jobs for, the one I cooked for, cleaned for, sacrificed for, the one who now looked at me like I was a burden. And maybe in his eyes I was, but in mine, he was still the little boy who used to pick me dandelions from the yard and say, "Mama, look, I got you something beautiful." As I stood by that road, I wrapped my arms around myself. A lump grew in my chest, not from the cold, but from the heartbreak. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what to do. I just knew I'd never felt so alone. Then, I heard a slow engine behind me. A truck pulled over. Not too close to scare me. Not too far to ignore me. The window rolled down, and a warm, steady voice said, "Ma'am, are you all right?" The kindness of a stranger. I turned and saw a man leaning slightly out of the window. Late 40s, maybe early 50s. Tall, broad shoulders. Dark hair sprinkled with gray. A face that had known sadness but hadn't lost kindness. He looked at me the way people used to, with real concern. I'm fine," I said quickly, embarrassed, but my voice cracked. He heard it. "Do you need a ride somewhere?" he asked gently. "I don't want to bother anyone." "You're not bothering me." He gave a soft smile. "My name's Daniel. I'm a mechanic. I live just outside town." I hesitated. "A ride into town?" he offered. My legs were shaking from standing so long. My heart was shaking from being abandoned. So I nodded. "Thank you," I whispered. He stepped out, opened the passenger door for me. Not in a dramatic movie way, but in an old-fashioned, respectful way. I sat inside. The seat was warm. The air smelled faintly of pine and engine oil. Felt safe. Something I hadn't felt in a very long time. The drive. We drove in silence at first. I kept looking out the window, afraid I'd start crying if I looked at him. Daniel didn't push. He didn't pry. Finally he said quietly, "Whoever left you out there?" That wasn't right. Those words hit me hard. I swallowed the knot in my throat. "It was my son," I whispered. Daniel's hands tightened on the steering wheel. Not in anger but in sadness. "I'm sorry," he said. And he meant it. No judgment. No questions. Just compassion. "Do you have family you can call?" he asked softly. I shook my head. "Friends." Another shake. He took a slow breath. "All right," he said, making a decision. "Here's what we're going to do. I'll take you to a diner I trust. We'll get you warm, get you fed. And then we'll figure out a plan. Together." "Daniel, I can't pay. I didn't ask you to." I closed my eyes. No one had taken care of me like this. Not for years. The diner. The diner was small and cozy, glowing with soft yellow lights. When we walked in, the waitress, a cheerful woman named Lynn, called out, "Back again, Dan? Who's your friend?" He smiled. "Someone who could use a warm meal." Lynn nodded like she understood everything without needing to ask. She guided us to a booth. I sat on the red vinyl seat, rubbing my cold hands together. Daniel ordered for me a bowl of chicken soup and a grilled cheese. The kind of food people give you when they want you to feel better. When the soup came, I wrapped my fingers around the warm bowl. The heat soothed me. The smell of chicken and herbs made my eyes sting with tears. Daniel pretended not to notice. "Eat," he said gently. "You'll feel better." And I did. For the first time that day, I felt my chest loosen. When I finished, Daniel slid his coffee aside and said, "You can stay at the diner for a bit if you want, or if you feel comfortable. I have a guest room. You're welcome to stay until you figure things out." I froze. Stay? With him? A stranger? But the truth was simple. I had nowhere else to go. The decision. I folded my hands in my lap. "I don't want to be a burden." "You won't be," he said firmly. And somehow, I believed him. After a long silence, I nodded. "All right," I whispered. We drove to his home. A small, neat house with a porch swing and a garden full of wildflowers. Inside, everything felt warm, safe, lived in. He showed me the guest room. It had soft blankets, a small lamp, and a dresser that smelled faintly of cedar. "This is yours," he said. "Stay as long as you need." I sat on the bed, overwhelmed by his kindness. "Daniel, why are you helping me?" He paused in the doorway. "Because someone helped me once," he said softly, "and I promised I'd pass it on." Then he gave a small nod and left me to rest. For the first time in months, I slept through the night. A new morning. I woke early to the smell of coffee. My bones felt stiff, but my heart felt lighter. When I stepped into the kitchen, Daniel was flipping pancakes. He looked over and smiled. "Morning, Maggie. Hope you're hungry." I felt a warmth spread through me. The kind of warmth you feel when someone actually wants you there. We ate breakfast together. We talked about little things, gardens, recipes, weather. Normal things. Afterward, I helped him wash the dishes. "You don't have to do that," he said. "I want to," I smiled. And I did. Helping made me feel useful again. It made me feel like I still had a place in the world. Why my son left me. Daniel didn't ask about my son right away. He gave me time. But after a few days, he asked gently over dinner, "Do you want to tell me what happened?" I looked down at my hands. "My son's wife doesn't like me," I said quietly. "Did you live with them?" "Yes. I only moved in because I couldn't afford the rent anymore. My pension is small. My savings ran out. I thought family would understand." Daniel nodded slowly. But my daughter-in-law said I was in the way, said I made the house feel crowded, said I needed too much. And your son? He agreed with her, I whispered. He changed. He stopped talking to me, stopped looking at me. A tear slipped down my cheek. He said I was stressing them out, said I was too old-fashioned, said I made his wife uncomfortable. Daniel's jaw tightened. But to kick you out, he said quietly. That's cruelty, Maggie. Pure cruelty. I wiped my tears. I didn't think he had it in him. Sometimes, Daniel said softly, people lose their way. Finding myself again. Days turned into a week. A week turned into 2. I started helping around the house, watering the garden, folding laundry, tidying the kitchen. I cooked dinner a few times. Daniel complimented everything, even the dishes I messed up. You've made this place warmer, he told me one night. No one had said something like that to me in years. We settled into a gentle routine. Coffee in the morning, chores, a little TV in the evenings. Sometimes we talked, sometimes we didn't. Felt easy, natural. One afternoon he said, Maggie, have you ever worked in a bakery or cafe? I nodded. I worked in a bakery in my 40s. He smiled. My friend owns a cafe. They need someone part-time. If you want, I can introduce you. My heart lifted. Me? At my age? Why not? He shrugged. You're capable. You're kind. People like you. No one had believed in me like that in a very long time. Getting my life back. Daniel took me to the cafe. The owner, Sophie, was a sweet woman with bright eyes. We talked for 20 minutes. She hired me on the spot. The first day I put on my apron, I felt alive, useful, needed, like I mattered. I made coffee, served pastries, wiped tables, smiled at customers. People liked me. They talked to me, asked for my name, said they hoped I'd be there tomorrow. And suddenly, I wasn't just a burden. I was part of something again. Every day I came home tired but happy. Daniel always noticed. You're glowing, he teased one night. I laughed a real laugh. Maybe I am. But life always comes back around. It was a Sunday afternoon when my son showed up at the cafe. I froze when I saw him. He looked tired, angry, ashamed. I couldn't tell. Mama, he said softly. We need to talk. I felt the room spin. I hadn't heard that word mama in weeks. He sat across from me. I've been looking for you, he said. I shouldn't have left you there. It was wrong. I stayed silent. My wife, she felt bad. We both did. We want you to come home. I looked at him, really looked. He wasn't doing this out of love. He was doing it out of guilt or pressure. And for the first time in maybe forever, I realized something. I didn't owe him my suffering. I didn't owe him my silence. I didn't owe him the rest of my life. I had built something new, something gentle, something stable, something full of respect. I took a deep breath. Tyler, I said softly, I love you. I always will. But I'm not coming back. His face crumbled. Mama, I deserve peace, I whispered. And I found it. He looked like he wanted to argue, but something in my eyes stopped him. After a long moment, he nodded slowly. I'm sorry, he whispered. And then he left. I didn't cry. I didn't shake. I just breathed. For the first time, the air didn't hurt. A new kind of home. That evening, I sat on Daniel's porch swing. The sunset painted the sky orange and pink. Daniel came out with 2 mugs of tea. You all right? He asked. I nodded. I told my son I wasn't going back. Daniel sat beside me. He didn't praise me. He didn't pity me. He just sat, quiet, present. You chose yourself, he said finally. And that's brave. I sighed softly. I don't know what the future looks like. He took a slow sip of his tea. Well, he said with a small smile, the future looks like whatever you want it to be. And you don't have to face it alone. Not unless you want to. My heart warmed. A slow, gentle warmth. Not romantic. Not dramatic. Just safe. The kind of warmth that feels like home. The life I never expected. Months passed. Life settled into something beautiful. I worked at the cafe. I tended Daniel's garden. We cooked dinners together. We went to the farmer's market on Saturdays. We laughed a lot, more than I had in years. People assumed we were married. We always smiled at that. One evening as we washed dishes, Daniel asked softly, "Maggie, do you ever think about making this arrangement permanent?" I looked at him. His eyes had the same warmth they had the day he pulled over on that road. "I think," I said slowly, "that my heart has already made it permanent." He didn't kiss me. He didn't sweep me off my feet. He just took my hand and held it, softly, quietly, like a promise. Final piece. Years later, I sometimes think back to the day my son left me on the road. The day that felt like the end. But it wasn't the end. It was the beginning. Sometimes God lifts you out of a place, in the harshest way, because He knows you'll never leave it on your own. I found a new life, new work, new purpose, new love. Not the wild, passionate love of youth, but the steady, gentle love of companionship, of kindness, of two people who understand each other deeply. My son eventually apologized again, and again. We talk now, slowly, carefully, but not painfully. I don't blame him anymore. People grow, people learn, but I don't live for him anymore. I live for me, for the life I built, for the peace I earned, for the man who stopped on the side of the road when no one else did. I thought my life was over that day, but now I see the truth. I live for me, for the life I built, for the peace I earned, for the man who stopped on the side of the road when no one else did. I thought my life was over that day, but now I see the truth. Sometimes the most painful goodbye is the doorway to the most beautiful beginning. And sometimes the family you gain is far better than the family you lose.